उमेंदर,
प्रेजेंट सर।
स्लाइड दिख रहा?
यस सर।
So today we will discuss spacer fabric. This spacer fabric is a very long chapter, but in your syllabus we have only one lecture for this. So I will give you a brief idea about what is exactly the spacer fabric is and how they are produced and what are its applications and some properties. So we have discussed so far about 3-4 lectures on 3D fabrics. Spacer is one of the 3D fabrics. In all previous classes, we have discussed 3D solid structures. However, 3D fabrics can be produced as a 3D solid, 3D hollow, 3D cell structure, nodal structure, and many complex profile structure. So spacer belongs to 3D hollow family category. So it's a 3D fabric, but it's a 3D hollow structure. And you will find, I will show you some of the applications, only some pictorial applications, how they are used in automobiles, aerospace, marine, and protective clothing applications, mainly in composite sector. So let us have a look why we want to have a spacer fabric in 3D weaving. If you recall what we said in case of 3D solid, one of the characteristics of 3D fabric is large thickness. I have given some definitions of 3D fabric and seen that one of the definition, one of the fundamental meaning of 3D fabric is a fabric having large thickness. That means while producing this fabric, we try to increase its dimension in third dimension, that is in thickness direction or in Z axis. So what happens when we try to make a fabric thicker? Its weight increases. The major application of these fabrics are composite applications, and one of the basic objective of using textile structure for making composite is to make composite of lightweight. So we want to minimize the weight. So how a 3D fabric of large thickness can be produced with minimum weight? So the solution is spacer weaving. If you want to produce a 3D fabric of minimum weight, then we have to produce spacer fabric. Hence, under the requirement of lightweight applications, spacer fabrics serve the purpose. So this is the main motivation to produce a spacer fabric, which is a hollow fabric. Idea is to produce a lightweight structure for composite manufacturing. A schematic of spacer fabric. As you can see here, there is a skein both on top and bottom. Some yarns are joining these two skeins, maintaining a gap in between. The gap is called core. So core is basically a hollow space having threads or fabrics as pillar or support. What you see here, threads, yarns. Nowadays, advanced spacer fabrics are also being developed where you will find these connecting threads are not threads. They can be woven construction, woven structure also means fabric. So these connecting threads, whose name is you will find subsequently called pile thread or piles, they can be yarn or they can be fabric. But the role of these piles are to act as a pillar or support, maintaining the distance between two skin. That means we have option during producing this fabric to change the distance between these two skins so that we can increase or decrease hollow space. And there are other options also. We'll discuss little later. Now let us see what exactly the spacer fabric is. So this is the definition of spacer fabric. Spacer fabrics are 3D structures in which two separate fabric layers are connected with a pile yarns or fabrics. As I said, these pile yarn can be a thread or can be a fabric. Maintaining hollow space between adjacent connecting yarns or fabric layers. So it maintains a distance. This is simple definition of spacer fabric. How this spacer is different from solid, both are 3D. We produce 3D fabric, solid or hollow, depending on the applications. And as I said, most of the 3D fabrics are used for composite manufacturing. So composites that are required to have thickness needs to give impact resistance, or where delamination resistance is the prime criteria, we produce 3D solid structure. However, 3D hollow structures are used when the composite property needs to have bulkiness, lightweight, and energy absorbent. This is how 3D spacer is different from 3D solid. In solid, thickness is criteria, impact resistance is criteria, delamination resistance is criteria. Whereas in 3D hollow or spacer, bulkiness is criteria, lightweight is the criteria, energy absorbent. Energy absorbent means energy absorption capability to compression and also impact. Since it is hollow, it has enough capacity to absorb energy when the structure undergoes compressive load. This is how 3D solid structures are different from 3D spacer fabrics. I am introducing a new term. It's called near net shape. Spacer fabrics are considered as a near net shape fabric. I'll give definition of near net shape in the next slide. This is one of the very attractive feature of spacer fabric, as it has ability to form the shape in 3 directions. 3 direction means in 3 plane, X plane, Y plane, and Z plane. And they can also be produced by weaving, by knitting, by nonwoven. Subsequently, I will explain this. But what is near net shape? Near net shape is an industrial manufacturing technique. What it means? It means that the initial production of the item means here fabric, spacer fabric, is very close to the final shape. Net means final. Net profit. If you have come across with financial term, gross profit, net profit. Net profit means profit after tax, profit after all payments. Net means final. So if you want to produce a final product in composite manufacturing, spacer weaving helps to give you produce the exact product which you want to make during weaving itself. That means after weaving, you simply convert the fabric into a composite material. You don't have to go for any other machining, any other engineering post weaving process. So what is the advantage? Advantage is basically production cost reduces. when you want to make a finished product using this fabric, you don't have to do anything after the fabric is produced. Straight away the fabric is converted to a composite material. We save space, we save money, we save time. So cost of production is reduced because spacer weaving facilitates near net shape production of the fabric. I'll show you some of the products applications where you can understand how near net shape are produced. Other features of spacer fabric. Woven spacer fabrics, along with being lightweight, have outstanding integrity, good debonding resistance, and designability. What are all these terms? Lightweight, no doubt, because it is hollow. Outstanding integrity. What does it mean, outstanding integrity? For example, look at this is a spacer fabric, and this is its supporting wall. This supporting wall is not stitched with this. The skin is integrated with this wall by weaving itself. So integrity with wall to skin is automatically due to weaving technology itself. Here, look at this yarn. This yarn is part of this skin and core supporting thread. It's not that we have used some adhesive to join it. It's not that we have stitched here. The same yarn which is making this supporting wall also making the skin. So it is making a hollow structure by integration. So there is a structural integrity. That point is written here, same, have outstanding integrity. That means when such kind of structures will be subjected to a shear force. I hope all of you understand shear force. Shear force means a tangential load. So if a tangential load will be given in such kind of spacer fabric at this here, tangential load, then these wall will not be detached from the skin because they are integrated. So that is what meaning of outstanding integrity, lightweight, and good debonding resistance, because they are bonded by weaving. They are not bonded by adhesive. They are not bonded by stitching, or they are not bonded by any chemical or mechanical means. They are joined because of interlacement of warp and weft by weaving itself. So good debonding resistance and designability. Designability is a very broad term. I will come to this later. You will find we can change a lot of things in this fabric for which this term is used, designability or near net shape. We can produce many structures by this weaving, and I will explain you subsequently one by one. Better imposed dimensional stability of fabric reinforced composite is the most advantage of the woven spacer fabric as compared to their knitter counterpart. What does it mean? The point what I want to mention here is spacer fabric is produced by knitting. This is a knitted spacer fabric. You must have come across this knitted spacer fabric. All these sports shoe upper is a knitted spacer fabric. In your car, the top hood is a spacer fabric. Many car seat covers are warp knitted spacer fabrics. But this is woven spacer fabric. This is a woven spacer fabric converted to composite material. The basic difference between this spacer and this spacer is there is a huge structural stability of these. When they will be converted to composite material, they work as a stable structure which can absorb many load. But knitted structures are flexible structures, so they are not really stable. That point what is mentioned here is the second one. Woven spacer fabrics are much more superior to knitted counterpart in terms of their structural or dimensional stability. Knitted spacer may be used for some other purposes, but when we are talking of this energy absorption, when we are talking about these other mechanical properties, when we are talking of their application in composite manufacturing, definitely woven spacers are superior to knitted spacers. You will find in literature these three terms which are synonyms: hollow fabric, spacer fabric, distant fabric. One and the same thing. Hollow fabric, I told you, because there is a hollow space. Spacer fabric, because there is a space between two layers. Distance fabric means you can change the distance between both the skin. So people use these three terms interchangeably to mean the same structure. There are many other spacer. It's not that spacer what you see here. Spacer could be cylindrical, could be conical, could be double tubular. And also there are many complex spacer. I'll show you subsequently. Think of the radome of the aircraft. Aircraft front is a spacer fabric converted to a composite material. Think of wings of aircraft is a spacer fabric. Wings. Think of wind turbine blades, a spacer fabric. Boats used in rafting is a spacer fabric. So there are many applications. Subsequently, you will see that. So these are all spacer or hollow fabric, but very complex shape. And there is a technique to produce all these, but it's not in your scope of the syllabus because this chapter is to be finished only in one lecture. So only introductory. Honeycomb. If time permits, I will teach this subject separately in another lecture. It's one of the most important spacer fabric, honeycomb structure. Honeycomb means it's a spacer, but the cell is hexagonal. Look, this is weave design. Has been converted to this fabric by weaving on a loom. And you can see when you will come to our 3D lab, you will see how we are producing this fabric. This sample which you see here is produced in our lab, and this fabric is converted to this composite material. Honeycomb composites, what you see here, is used as the outer body of aircraft. Is a honeycomb structure. First, this honeycomb fabric is produced, then converted to composite material, then used as the floor and the outer body layer of these aircraft. Wherever you need high impact force, this structure has ability to absorb impact energy to a larger extent. And this is produced on a 3D weaving machine where you can have these kind of structures, honeycomb. It has a lot of technical details. Maybe if I get time, I'll take this later. Remember, this is also belongs to a spacer fabric because it is a hollow structure. Broadly, we find two types of spacer fabric. Right hand side, this is a honeycomb. This is another spacer. So this is another kind of spacer, double layer. We can have a triple layer spacer also. But anyway, if you compare these two with these two, what you see here, these are spacer fabric whose top and bottom surface are flat, even. These are spacer fabrics whose top and bottom surface are uneven. Look at uneven surface on top and bottom. This is because of weaving itself, we produce these different type of, there are many other type, but we classify into these two categories. One, spacer having even surface, means flat surface. Another category of spacer having uneven surface. It has a lot of importance. So this is not the course where I can explain you. We teach all these things in composite manufacturing. In composite, we need to have flat surface or uneven surface. So it has a different implications. But anyway, this is one of the classification. Ultimate aim of spacer. Irrespective of difference in nomenclature, fabric manufacturing technology and surface geometry, as we discussed all these three. Principal objective of spacer is to develop a structure which is hollow, light in weight, bulkier and energy absorbent. Whatever may be the purpose, may be different in nomenclature, may be different in manufacturing technology, may be different in surface geometry, as I said, uneven, even. But the basic purpose of producing spacer fabric is to achieve these four principal objectives: hollow, light in weight, bulkier, energy absorbent. I have already explained you what is energy absorbent. Now coming to manufacturing in brief. We produce spacer by stitching, by warp knitting, by weft knitting, by non-woven, by weaving. This is a warp knitted spacer fabric. This is a non-woven spacer fabric. This is a woven spacer fabric. I'll give you a brief idea how they are produced. Spacer fabric produced on warp knitting. You can see it in any book. I'll just explain you the mechanism. Look at the mechanism. You must be knowing what is warp knitting machine in your basic weaving course. Fabric manufacturing 2. This is a warp knitting machine, 6-bar warp knitting. Bar number 1 and 2 giving top skein. Bar number 5 and 6 giving bottom skein. So this is top skein, this is bottom skein. Bar number 3 and 4 connecting top skein and bottom skein. These lines. Very simple principle, but you have to understand what is bar. So this is not the course where I will explain. You are supposed to understand what is a 4-bar machine, 6-bar machine. So normally these warp knitted Russell warp knitted structures are produced on a 6-bar machine, and as I said, bar number 1, 2 make the top skein, bar number 5 and 6 makes the bottom skein, and bar number 3 and 4 makes connecting between top and bottom, creating hollow space, and these are called pile threads. So this is about spacer warp knitted structure. Spacer fabric can also be produced on weft knitting. In a double jersey circular knitting machine, you must have come across the flatbed knitting machine, V shape. In V shape, so we have a front line, we have a bottom line, we can connect top and bottom line. So two skein fabrics of the spacer structures can be knitted separately on a dial and cylinder. So dial makes one, cylinder makes one. If you know what is weft knitting machine, we have a dial. So I am checking double jersey machine. It's not plain. Double jersey machine have dial as well as cylinder. So dial makes top layer skein, cylinder makes bottom skein, and we have a connecting thread between these two, where you will get a spacer fabric on weft knitting machine. Similarly, you can produce in a weft knitting machine by V-wed machine. This was dial cylinder. This is V-wed, that is flatbed knitting machine. One side bed produce top skin, another side produce bottom skin, and a thread connecting top and bottom makes you spacer fabric. So spacer fabric can be produced on warp knitting machine, weft knitting machine. In weft knitting machine, you can produce both on dial cylinder double jersey machine or V-wed machine. So this is a schematic diagram of 3D knitted spacer fabric produced on flatbed knitting machine. And you know how we represent this: top skin, bottom skin, and connecting threads. Even it is possible to produce double layer fabric. So instead of two skin, there is a intermediate skin also. So you can make this type of cell double layer. There is a possibility to make this cell not only in rectangle shape but in trapezoidal shape, these diamond shape. So there are so many variations. One can produce the spacer fabric of different variations. Stitched fabric. The stitching process can be employed in two ways: to join multiple layers of fabric to be reinforced and to keep the form in the desired shape during consolidation just by stitching. So it's a manual method. You take multiple layers, maintain a distance, go for stitching, just like a sewing process. You can make this fabric. So there is nothing much technology as far as this is concerned. Whereas if you look at nonwoven, if you have gone through this nonwoven process manufacturing, there is a technology called perpendicular lead nonwoven manufacturing. Different lead nonwoven you must have heard: wet lead, dry lead, perpendicular lead. The technology is called Struto technology. Look at what it is. So web is formed, nonwoven web. This is a conveyor belt. So the web is flowing in this way. And look at this. This is a forming comb. This job of this forming comb is it descends down to this platform. So web is coming from this side, let down over this platform. What this forming comb is doing, pushing the web to make it vertically laid. Means it laid this web in this form. I have already shown you this form. In this form. So that is what this comb is doing, this forming comb. Look at this card web is coming, let down over this, and this job forming comb just descends down, push at equal interval distance, so that goes on arranging the web in this folded manner. Then this enters to a hot air chamber where the fixation of webs take place. Normally it is used for thermoplastic fibers. So thermoplastic fibrous carded web is fed here. These forming comb push at equal interval, converting these straight plain web into a folded form, and it passes through after being folded in a hot air chamber where heating and setting of the wave takes place to make a 3D structure. And it has many interesting properties. thermal insulation, high conductivity, energy absorbent, and many things as far as 3D structure are concerned. But this is how a 3D nonwoven structure is produced. Coming to 3D weaving. You must have come across this in fabric manufacturing too, velvet weaving. The principle shows velvet weaving. This is top layer weaving, bottom layer weaving. These are connecting threads, connecting top layer, bottom layer. So this yarn comes from one separate beam. This is coming from another beam. This is coming from another beam. It's called velvet weaving principle. After fabric is woven, it is cut from the center. It becomes two-layer fabric used for many children garment and some fur type of structure. You must have come across this. This is a very oldest method of producing spacer weaving by velvet weaving principle. This is most common technique to produce spacer fabric. It's called face-to-face weaving. More or less same as velvet weaving. I will show you a better diagram in the next sequence. Look at this. Blue one is pile warp, red top, red bottom, red top coming from one beam drawn through a separate set of heel frame, bottom warp drawn through separate set of heel frame, making bottom layer, and here the two different type of weft. One weft is inserted through top layer, another through bottom layer, making top layer fabric, bottom layer fabric, and the third warp which is coming here, connecting the top and bottom. They are drawn through a special heel frame. The principle is called face-to-face weaving principle to produce spacer fabric. We have this machine in 3D lab. When you will be here, you can have a look to this, how this machine produces 3D fabrics. So this is what is written here, what I just explained. Face-to-face weaving represents an alternative method to manufacture the cut warp fabric in which two fabrics are woven simultaneously and the pile is produced without the aid of the wire. Otherwise, if the pile beam is not there, what you will do? We insert wire between so that it maintains a distance gap, which is a very old principle. But nowadays, these looms are available to produce this double face-to-face weaving based principle spacer fabric. Okay, and same thing, what I explained is written here. Then this is another interesting just concept, not how weaving takes place. What you have seen already, the diagram I have shown you, you can produce spacer fabric where there is a top skin, there is a bottom skin, and there is a pile thread connecting top and bottom. It is possible to produce such kind of spacer, complex spacer fabric, where it is not only one spacer hollow, it can have multiple space and multiple hollow. It can have the cell geometry, not only rectangle or square, it can be triangle, it can be trapezoidal, it can be double triangle, it can be double trapezoidal, many shape. So you must be wondering what is the need of making such a different type of cell geometry in a spacer fabric. Here you can see honeycomb. is a hexagonal cell geometry. So you can have spacer fabric having cell geometry as a triangle, trapezoidal, complex shape, hexagonal shape, and many more. But question is why? What is the necessity? Because these fabrics are converted to composite material. Change of cell geometry of a composite hollow structure completely changes the mechanical properties this composite offers. The mechanical properties, particularly energy absorption capability. When such kind of composite materials will be subjected to compressive load or impact load, because of these complex supporting wall, the energy absorption capacity of these composite materials will be different. Depending on, one can engineer such kind of cell geometry so that the compression capability or the energy absorption capacity of these structures can be varied by changing this cell geometry. Supporting wall at certain angles, straight. Not only this, many more which I will discuss later, means what could be its height, what could be its thickness, what could be its angle, what could be its frequency, means number of walls per unit distance. All these things can be monitored during weaving, and accordingly a composite material can be prepared to make the hollow structures of varying energy absorption capacity. Okay, that is what the objective of producing different types of hollow structures. Now I am going to give you another concept, conventional versus integrated spacer. It's written, but I will explain from the diagram where you will understand better. Look at this. So what is basic difference between these two? Here pile threads are yarn. Pile is nothing but supporting pillar. Here the pillars are not yarn, they are fabric, woven fabric, and not only one woven layer, two, it could be three. So when these composites are when these spacer fabrics are converted to composite material, a composite made with a simply one supporting thread and one supporting fabric, rather two supporting fabric, we will have significant difference in their mechanical performance, particularly with respect to load bearing capacity, compression energy, energy absorption capacity, ability to sustain impact load or ability to sustain compressive load. So these technologies now available, how to produce spacer fabric with spacer fabric wall instead of spacer yarn wall. That is what I wanted to tell you here. Conventional versus integrated spacer. In conventional, the supporting pile threads are yarns. In integrated, the supporting pile threads are woven structures. So why we switched over to woven structure wall? As I have already explained you, limitations of pile yarn. The conventional spacer fabrics composed of two surface layers bound with pile yarns are generally manufactured using weaving and knitting technology. These spacer fabrics are not suitable for high performance composite applications due to inferior mechanical properties such as elasticity and deformability under compressive load. That's the motivation, that's the reason why we try to produce spacer fabric with supporting woven layer instead of supporting yarns. So this is special fabric with pile threads, whereas this is special fabric with pile fabric. Now, this is more interesting. You should know this. Look at what is this structural variation. I have already told you we have a lot of option in this technology to produce fabric or structure of different variables. What are those variables? Single or double. This is single, this is double. Straight or crossed. Could be straight, could be crossed. At any angle. Pile length can be increased or decreased. Pile can be easily converted to a vertical or slant. Pile density can be varied. In unit distance, I can have 2 pile, 3 pile, 4 pile, depending on load bearing capacity. And there are other, I have not actually added. What others are? Just have a look. You see the top skin and bottom skin, one woven layer. Now we have technology in our lab itself. We can make this top skin and bottom skin 2 layer of fabric or even 3 layer of fabric, multiple layer of the skin. What you see here is a single layer skin. The skin can be thicker and thicker by simply making the skin single layer, double layer or triple layer. By doing so, the spacer composite becomes still more stable, more stronger, more energy absorbent. So the point is there is a lot of variability, option to change the structure. Okay, this is traditional multi-rapier weaving machine. So summarize spacer fabric advantage, better impact resistance. Remember, when I am saying spacer fabric means it is always spacer composite. We don't test spacer fabric because spacer fabric as such, without converting composite, the structure collapse. It has no property. It has property only when the structure is converted to composite material. So when these spacer woven fabrics are converted to composite material, what they offer? They offer impact resistance, damage tolerance, high toughness, high stiffness to weight ratio, high bulking resistance, low structural weight, low lateral deformation, dimensional stability. So much of mechanical properties can be obtained from composite made out of woven spacer fabrics. Now, applications. So I will show you quickly only pictures from where you can make out where these spacer fabrics are used. It is, as I said, it is used mostly in composite form in automobiles, aerospace, marine, civil engineering, machine components, sports, structural engineering, and wind energy. Because spacer woven composites are well known for their low mass and high energy absorption capacity under compression loading. Never forget this. This is very conclusive statement. Spacer woven composites are well known for their low mass, high energy absorption capacity under compression loading. So, what are those applications? Composite filtration, transport, ballistics, marine, aerospace, wind energy, medical constructions. A special fabric used to make concrete building. Look at here, bottom diagram. I'll show you many applications. Look at this, the superstructure of the marine ship, not this bottom one. Superstructure is white portion, which is a major part where using this structure you have rooms, you have playgrounds, you have swimming pools, you have kitchen, you have many rooms, everything. The bottom is only touching to the water, but whole thing is used using spacer fabric composite material. In outdoor, all what you see here uses some composite fabrics, some kind of furniture. Indoors, these are all special fabrics. Automotive car seat cover, these balloons, special fabrics. These clothing, special fabric. Shoe upper, special fabric. Pad used in special fabric. This is a special fabric used in construction materials, special fabric. I have already shown you concrete. Such kind of, this is used a special fabric, reinforced composite material. These are special fabrics. Wings, wind turbine blades, boats, special fabric. Some components of these special fabrics. So there are many applications. There are so many challenges in this. Of course, you should know this. It's not that what you saw in the diagram is easy to produce. While producing these products from using special fabric, we have a lot of challenges, starting from weaving to converting the material to by composite material. The challenges are selection of weaving machine, setting in weaving machine, what kind of setting. It's not that ordinary weaving machine what you have seen. Special weaving machines are different. Selection of structural parameters. You have already seen so many structural parameters: height, angle, frequency, number of layers, thread or fabric, top skin, bottom skin. So many structural parameters need to be set for different applications. Production of weaving, handling high performance fiber in the, it's not that we are weaving cotton thread or polyester thread. Most of the applications are using high performance yarn like glass fibers, Kevlars, which is very difficult to be woven on the weaving machine, and composite processing. After weaving, how to convert these fabric into composite itself is a challenging job. So there are many challenges in developing these products, starting from weaving to product finishing stage. Okay, this is not part of your syllabus, just to remove some queries from your mind, because we basically obtain the hollow structures. I'll show you once again. From the weaving machine, what you get the fabric, a typical example, let's say in this form. Look at the bottom one. It is to be converted to composite material, and you see here is a very simple shape. The shape could be anything, triangular, etc., etc., single layer, double different height. So when you need to convert this fabric to composite material, one of the basic requirement is you have to produce molds of a different designs. Those molds are to be inserted through those space. Then the whole fabric with molds are to be kept in a vacuum assisted resin transfer molding system to impregnate resin into the fabric to make them composite material. So you can realize, understand this only when you see the system. Whenever you are in the campus, have come to our lab, you can see this, how these structures are converted to composite materials. So those kind of fabrics, after production, we develop molds. These are cross section of different molds. It could be wooden mold, it could be metallic mold. Those molds are to be inserted through the fabric. Then the fabric along with mold, the whole thing are to be kept in a vacuum assisted resin transfer molding system, where resin will be impregnated to the fabric to make them composite material. Okay, so that is a part of composite production, but composite production is not part of your syllabus. It is only fabric production. Now, finally, I'll give you, we have 5 minutes quickly. Characterization of spacer fabric. As I said, we don't test spacer fabric. We test only spacer composite material. And this is a hollow structure. So we test them in two ways. One is edge-wise compression, or another is flat-wise compression. Both way, we need its compression energy. You keep this flat-wise in compressive shell. So look at its energy absorption capacity. Main test is energy absorption capacity. There are other tests also, but this is the main test of this, because these structures are well known only for its high energy absorption capacity. And as I said, it can be tested edge-wise, as you see here, or it can be tested flat-wise. What is the nature of curve we get? Stress strain diagram of such structures. Look at typical stress strain diagram of spacer composite structures. It has three distinct zones: 1, 2, 3. This zone from here to here, particularly look at this. This refers to matrix starts cracking. These terms are difficult for you to understand, because you can understand this only when if you study some composite subject. Composites are made after inserting some matrix into these structures. So when we will load this, whether it is in this way or that way, initially it takes load. At this point, it collapses. At this point, it collapses. At this point, it collapses. These three gap corresponds to the three different thickness: 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter. Thickness means here the thickness, the height of the spacer. So at this point, matrix cracks takes place, means structure starts collapsing. Then it gets compressed. When it will get compressed, the curve will slide down. At this point, you will find the top skin touches bottom skin, no more void. Then the structure starts taking load, then curve rises up, which is called face sheet starts to compress the pile together. Point 2 refers to pore yield. Point 1 refers to matrix starts cracking. This is a typical stress strain diagram of spacer fabric based composite material compression test. You get similar structure if you make it edge-wise. Here, edge-wise means it goes long distance because it exerts high resistance to compression. So the curve rises up. The difference between thickness is not much difference, whereas the difference of thickness in this case is there is a much difference. So when we test them edge-wise compression, the typical curve looks like this. Same load displacement curve. Edge-wise compression test of spacer composite material. Okay, so this is time. There are many things here in this, but we can devote, as I said, only one lecture. Now you can log out. Good afternoon. हाँ जी, हाँ जी, बताइए। ओ, ओ, अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा। हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक। अच्छा, ओके ओके, आई विल सेंड यू। हाँ हाँ।